Today, we're going to talk about the Explosher in Salmon Run. In this series, I break down weapons and how to use them in Salmon Run. The videos are short and they don't cover absolutely everything about a weapon. I just aim to make you feel a little bit more knowledgeable when playing Salmon Run. Number 1. The Explosher is a heavyweight slosher that is incredibly unique in Salmon Run. It fires long, slow projectiles that explode when hitting a surface and also holds the ability to pierce through enemies. But the trade-off is that it's slow, ink-hungry, and doesn't hit as fast or hard as other sloshers. Number 2. The Explosher has two types of damaging shots, the splash and the direct. In Salmon Run, the splash of the Explosher does 75 damage. The direct hit does 125 damage. So if you're able to combine both on the same target, you can deal 200 damage. Like a lot of other weapons, the Explo's ink efficiency has been buffed in Salmon Run, and you can get about 11 shots per tank here compared to the 8 in PvP. Time between swings is about 55 frames, and ink doesn't start refilling until 70 frames after firing a shot. It's a heavyweight weapon, so you'll be punished if you neglect ink management and don't have turf to move in. Be mindful with throwing eggs and concentrate on using your main weapon more than your sub. The Explo can also paint insanely well when it has the chance to, so ensure you're helping your team by painting all the walls you can. Number 3. With a niche weapon like the Explo, you'll excel against certain bosses and struggle terribly against others. In these situations, your priority should be with the bosses that the Explo can deal with and avoiding the others, unless you're in freelance and nobody is helping with fish sticks. A help, please? You're a fly fish killer. I mean, if you didn't know this by now, look at this. Your Explo shots act as a bomb and can take out fly fish really quickly. And hey, if you aim your Explo in the middle, you can even take out fly fish in one hit. Regardless if you do it in one shot or two, when you have the Explo, you'll want to make these a priority due to how easily you can manage them. Stingers, 2 shots minimum. You've got the range to do this with safety too, so these bosses are also another priority to keep an eye on. Steelheads take 2 direct shots, no issues if you can time your shots well. For flipper floppers, you can paint them with 1 or 2 shots, so consider this one of your strengths, especially if your teammates can't paint well for themselves. Eels, lids and scrappers can all be managed with relative ease. Drizzlers and big shots have higher HP, so you may struggle against these. Shoot back the torpedoes to speed things up and try to team up with other players when tackling big shots. Moors might pose an issue if you're struggling for turf and ink. Be mindful of having these harass you, and I'd advise as an Explo to deal with them ASAP so you don't have something following you all the time. And fish sticks. Fish sticks are your biggest enemy. I cannot overstate this enough. The best thing you can do is paint the stick for your teammates, but if they still don't take the hint, don't climb the stick. Arc your shots from the floor. There is a bit of a knack to it, but you can waste your time trying to do this. Unfortunately, they've got to go though. They are the Explo's worst enemy, and you will suffer so badly if there are 3 of them active around the basket. Number 4. One of the main things to remember with this weapon is that its shots pierce through all enemies without armor. This is something you'll need to constantly use to your advantage when playing the Explo, because outside of being a dedicated fly fish killer, what else are you doing? You need to survive and contribute to the objectives, and that means more than just doing one job. Lesser management can be tricky if you become overwhelmed, but being proactive with them is easy enough for the Explo to do due to its range and piercing mechanism. It's always worth backing away though if you need to, whilst continuing to fire at groups of lessers. The piercing ability works for all enemies without armor, so learning to line up multiple targets makes the Explo feel useful rather than just being a one-trick. Also, avoid standing still with this weapon for too long. You're exposed and vulnerable when still. You need to keep moving and working your way around the map to help your team with damaging enemies and being a static slayer. Slower weapons really get punished in this game, and if you find you're dying a lot, it might be because of this. The Explo is surprisingly adaptable to different situations in spite of its low damage per slosh. Like mentioned before, abuse its range and its ability to pierce. Number 5. Nightwaves with the Explosher can prove extremely free or extremely tricky due to the nature of the weapon. Gorillas can be tricky due to the slow movement of the weapon and the uncertainty of the round. You can do both roles here, small fry killer if you keep your distance and also put damage on gorillas. You have a lot of range with this weapon, so stay safe and use that to your advantage. Glowflies or rush can be tricky. If the weapon comp allows it, you should be able to stand with the rest of your teammates instead of stalling. Remember, the Explo can pierce and the chum health in rush is reduced. Line up the chum when you fire, this will help tremendously. You'll struggle if your teammates aren't helping though, and you may find you'll have to stall or use specials to help. Mothership can be fun when using the Explo, as you have the range to catch lots of Chinooks. You also have the range to catch the top of the Mothership when it's attached to the basket to get quick, easy kills on the Chinooks. And finally, what you've all been waiting for, on Mudmouse, the Explo acts as a bomb. What this means is free sloshes from your Explo and the Mudmouth is defeated. You can achieve some insanely high scores this way, and if you are given an Explo for Mudmouse, do not use bombs and do not get sidetracked by running eggs. Focus on your role, which is quickly defeating numerous Mudmouths. Your team should cover you by managing lessers, running eggs, and using specials if they can. Are you kidding me? Motherfucker, every time I try to record. Why? You need to keep moving and working your What the fuck is that noise? Every time I try to record, there's always someone trying to cut the fucking grass. I hope this video helps you appreciate the Explosher a little bit more. Let me know what you think. I will see you soon.